name's Melvin Wood and welcome to my fly tying channel. Today I'm going to be tying a Mayfly Dun. It's a fly that I use over in Ireland on Loch Sheelin and Loch Corrib when the mayfly are up and on it. I tie this fly in various sizes and I also tie it in a couple of variations which I'll show you on the video. But I tie them in 8s right down to 16s. Obviously the 16s you use as olives. Thank you. The hook in the vise is a Kamasan B170, which is a medium wire hook. The thread that I'm going to be using is Semperfli's classic wax thread 12 knot in brown. And I'm starting right at the eye and then I'm coming down the way until I'm midway between the point of the hook and the eye, and then I'm coming back along halfway, and that is where my wing is going to go in. The wing that I'm going to be tying is it's deer hair. It's raw deer hair, and it's been dyed yellow, and it's the flank of the raw deer that's been dyed yellow, and it gives it a lovely olive colour, light olive. And I need to stack these, get rid of the fluff. Put it in my deer stacker, and then all I'm going to do is just tap it on my knuckle, and that's good enough to stack it. Take that out. Got a little bit too much, so I'm going to take some out. Right, the length of the wing wants to be the length of the hook, so we're about there. So I'm going to put 2 soft turns in. And then I'm going to pull it tight, keeping all those cut ends on top of the hook shank. I'm not allowing it to spin round the hook shank, just keeping it all on top. Then I'm coming down the way. And I'm going to cut all those cut ends off at an angle. Tidy up by coming down towards the bend of the hook. I've got a nice natural taper in there. Happy with that. Now we're going to put some little tails in, and we're going to do that with pheasant tail fibres. We don't want many, and we're going to tie them in short. We want about half a dozen fibres that have got the tips level. I'm just going to roll those in my fingers. Separates the fibres. tie those in. I'm coming to a point just as the barb starts. There. And now I'm going to put my shook in. And my shook is polyarn and cream. I've took the piece out and I've split it, and not only have I split it, but I've tapered it out with my fingers. And the shook wants to be probably double the length of the tail, so I'm going to be about there. I'm going to tie that fella in, pinching a little bit on top. I'm coming back up in touching turns. And just take this waist off at an angle. I'm coming back down. Fibres stuck up, I'm going to take out. Okay, so now we're going to dub the body. We're going to dub the body with this, and this is sparkle yarn, a Semperfli sparkle yarn, and it's light olive. And I want a fairly tight dubbing noodle, because I don't want a real hairy body. Just get a turn on, get an anchor point, then I can dub it really tight. Or the noodle, put the noodle on really tight, making sure I've got a straight turn on at the back and then coming up. Covering that body. A little bit more on. We go. Now I want to go right over, and then I'm going to lift that wing. I'm coming right underneath with that dubbing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up a nice little head. And then I'm going to whip finish. Just going to put a little bit of dubbing on, a little bit of super glue on. And then all that's needed to do is just pull this wing out. And that's basically the fly finished. Now, I do tie another version of this fly. I find that this fly fishes better when it's flat in the water and when it's slightly sunken, as though it's a crippled dun. But I also tie it with a hackle. Same fly, just with a ginger hackle running through it. And I do tie it in various sizes. You know, I do tie it down to a 16. Okay, so from an 8 really down to a 16. Obviously they fish the big ones on lakes, on rivers where you have big mayfly, and the little ones you can use as olives. Well, how do you fish this mayfly dun? Well, I fish them on a probably an 18-foot leader, one on the point, and perhaps another one on the dropper, perhaps the hackled one on a dropper. And I like to fish them in the surface, but obviously at the start of a hatch. Just throw them out. I generally want to look for rising fish. I hunt for rising fish, and then I'll cast over a rising fish. Fishing's changed in Ireland a little, where at one time you used to see fish supping, rising 2 or 3 times. Generally they don't do that anymore, you know, they come the onces as we call them. But yeah, just cast to those fellas and hope for the best.